Welcome back to the Guilty as Charged podcast. On a much sadder note, the Chargers have traded Keenan Allen. Breaking news literally right after we hopped off the pod. So that was a roller coaster of emotions, man. I went from this was a great episode, this was a great day for the Chargers, to the Chargers trading Keenan Allen. I don't know how to process this. I am stunned. I do not think this was even remotely under consideration from the Chargers, because especially after Mike Williams was cut. This is truly a beginning of a new era, and business is business, man. But this sucks. I'm stunned. I cannot believe that this was the result that the Chargers decided to go down.
Yeah, there's going to be a ton of ways to look at this: big picture, short, term, long term, etc. Honestly, I might feel different tomorrow. I might feel different in a week, in a month, by the time the season starts, when Malik Neighbors catches his 20th touchdown of the season, whatever. But right now, it just feels wrong. Right. To me, it just feels wrong. More details might come out. There's the notion of not taking a pay cut, but it feels wrong. It feels, I don't know. I mean, there's a jersey behind me for a reason. I love this player. I think we all definitely love Keenan Allen. I mean, he's a part of my fandom as long as really anybody's been a part of my true conscious fandom. And for them to move on from him, to trade him after what he was able to accomplish last season, despite the injury at the end of the year, yeah, it feels wrong. Is there ever a great time to move on from a player you love? No, it happens. No matter what, this happens in some capacity for every player. But moving on from Keenan Allen and trading him to the Bears, getting the 4th round pick, I just don't buy it. I don't love it. I don't like it. It feels wrong. My heart hurts. If we had jumped on 30 minutes later at 8 o'clock, maybe I could provide more rational thought. But right now, this just feels like it's in the moment. We made a stream in 5 minutes and jumped on here. And I do not feel good about this. I do not feel good about obviously the wide receiver room now, because Quentin Johnston's now your wide receiver 1, which will not last much longer. This is going to be a pick at 5 now. The Chargers are picking a receiver at 5. But yeah, there are reasons to trade Keenan Allen. There are reasons to cut him or whatever they could have done. But that doesn't mean I don't think it's wrong. To me, it doesn't feel like the right thing to do. And I'm not going to only champion Jim Harbaugh and Joe Ortiz and everything that they do. I'm not going to do that. To me, this feels wrong. And now it is your job to prove me wrong.
Yeah, I'll jump in. Yeah, it's definitely confusing. It's tough to really understand the rationale behind it. I guess we should also talk about the Chargers asked Keenan Allen to take a pay cut, just like they did Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, and he refused. It says something. I think Keenan has all the right to refuse that. He was on pace for a career year before he got hurt. Khalil Mack did eventually accept to take a pay cut, but we talked about the concessions that Khalil Mack got. No franchise tag possibility after this year. I don't know what the concessions that the Chargers offered, or if they even offered something. And it's totally within Keenan's rights to decline a pay cut after the season he just had. He literally put the team on his back for so long when Mike Williams went down. Getting a 4th for Keenan Allen, I think people will say, oh, like that's low compensation. Like the dude is 32. I think a 4th rounder is fine value. Like that's what you're going to get at this stage in the game. I'm still shocked. Did not think this would be the outcome, especially after they did all that work to free up all that room. Obviously this takes, I haven't even opened over the cap yet, but I'm going to look right now. A trade saves about $23 million. So there's some upside. They have $23 million now on top of the $24 million that they created from the restructures and pay cuts. But let's not forget, Josh Palmer, Quentin Johnston, and Darius Davis is the worst wide receiving room in the NFL right now. It's not close. Like, there is not a single team that has a worse wide receiver room. I like Josh Palmer. He's a high-end wide receiver 3. Quentin Johnston right now is below replacement level. Darius Davis adds nothing in the receiving game. Like, this is the worst wide receiving room in the NFL. They made this trade 4 days after the legal tampering period opened. Guys, all the good receivers are gone. I'm sorry to say, like, there are not very many good receivers left. You're looking at Tyler Boyd, who could fill maybe a slot only role that Keenan filled, but who's left? Is Odell coming over? Like, they made this move so late in the process. There's not a lot of time to fill the hole that Keenan is leaving. That you're trying to fill 160 targets with free agency and the 5th overall pick. Now, hopefully, this puts to rest any Joe Alt, any offensive tackle mocks. I know I'm rambling on here, but it's really tough to justify the move given the timing and everything that's gone on in the past couple of days.
Yeah, I was so confident that the Chargers would keep Keenan that I honestly I never really even considered it. I don't know if Charlie Sinclair is here, but Charlie was talking about this the other day, and I was like, they're not trading him. It's not under consideration. You can't do this to Keenan Allen. It doesn't make any sense for the offense. It doesn't make sense for Justin Herbert. I never really I genuinely did not think that this was under consideration. I heard from people around the league as well as in the building that Keenan was considered basically untouchable last week, that they would have to take it would take a real legitimate trade package for them to trade Keenan Allen. And now you didn't need to ask him to take a pay cut. You were good. You didn't have to explore this avenue. So it's really frustrating. Keenan Allen 100% should have been somebody to retire a Charger. This is somebody that should have been able to have the opportunity to break Antonio Gates' records that we're not going to get to see. This is a guy that deserved to be able to have the chance to play for Jim Harbaugh. This is a guy who spent so many of his prime seasons in Los Angeles and San Diego playing for bad teams. And theoretically, you were going to have a good team. Maybe not this year, but next year was going to be the year where Keenan got to potentially play for a contending Chargers team. And now it's not happening. Wow, we have 1,000 people in the chat here. Holy shit, that's crazy. I never thought that this was under consideration. I cannot justify this. I understand 4th round pick for a guy his age is probably the market that's the kind of receiver that you trade for, but I can't justify this, man. I just tweeted out literally 20 minutes ago that Joe Ortiz has been crushing this week, and then this happens. I'm struggling with this one, and it's gonna hurt for a while. They can go sign some good players with this cap space, but this is a tough one. This is not gonna be something that I get over for quite some time.
So let me ask the question. Because of the moves the Chargers made, there was no cap financial reason to have to do this, right?
Not really. I mean, after getting the pay cut and restructure from the 2 edge rushers, they were good. They could have gotten the cap savings from extending Keenan Allen, just like they could from trading or cutting him. You didn't have to do this. RJ can speak on specifics there, but to my brain, you were good. You were set. You didn't need more cap savings. You just got the cap savings. I'm struggling with this one. I am.
Yeah. So I was after we ended the stream, I was working with Popper on kind of the savings and everything after we kind of figured out what to do with the Mosa and Mac restructures. So they did have about $15 million in just overall cap space, but once you account for an in-season budget, once you account for the draft room, they basically were they were broken even. So like they didn't need cap space, which they could have created via a Keenan Allen extension. Now, so assuming this is a Keenan Allen pre June 1, which it's going to be, the Chargers will sit at about $23 million in spending space for the rest of free agency. So to your point, Steven, like they did in a way need cap space to if they wanted to go out and sign more guys, which they definitely needed to. But that could have been done with an extension. That could have been done with a Morgan Fox cut. That could have been done with a Derwin restructure. Like there were other ways of creating cap space that didn't involve a Keenan Allen trade, but a Keenan Allen trade was one of the things that would have created the most cap space of any move they could have made. Just to kind of add some insight there.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone, Luann's pointing out it's not. She says that Keenan Allen was the last San Diego Charger. That is actually Joey. Gun to my head would have shot me every time because I would have told you that Keenan's staying over Joey. Would not have one bit thought today. If you told me they moved on from Keenan, I could almost buy it. If you told me they moved on from Keenan and kept Joey, I would have. I mean, I would have sold you a bridge. But yeah, I mean, I really don't have anything. I'm at a loss for words. This is the most viewers we're gonna have.
Yeah,
veto. Yeah, demand a recount. Yeah. Honestly, Dan, no. Like, no, I'm not okay. Honestly, like to try to just process any of this. Like, you have to understand, like, season ticket holder the year Keenan was drafted, and like, I don't know how to explain it, but when you drive to almost every game to San Diego or StubHub or SoFi with your dad, and you've done that every year since Keenan's been a Charger, Keenan Allen's a part of your life, in a way. And so to see him move on from this, it sucks. I really have nothing for it.
Yeah, I think there's like my brain always tries to rationalize like moves, right? Like what's the rationale behind moving on from Phillip Rivers? You can justify that based on his age, based on the quarterback class. You can justify moving on from LT back in the day because running back age, and you had some guys behind him that you were ready to rock with. You can justify some things. I have a really hard time justifying this one with the way that my brain works. And it doesn't make sense from a financial standpoint. It doesn't make sense on the field standpoint. Like Arjun was saying, now you're talking about a room where you have to take a wide receiver at pick number 5. There's no other choice. Like if you trade down and you don't take a receiver in the first round and you take one in the second, like there are some other receivers in the second that I like. We took Jalen Polk in the second round in our mock draft for the Chargers. You can't do that. that option is firmly off the table. Like you have to take a wide receiver at number 5. Like I understand that you want to run the football and you want to do all this stuff, but this doesn't make sense to me in any scope. And you didn't need the cap savings, a 4th round draft pick at pick 110. This does not compute to my brain. This does not work for me. I'm sad about this one for sure. And I don't think I'm going to get over it until the Chargers win a playoff game. Probably. I don't know, man. This is a tough one.
Yeah. Chiefs just signed Hollywood Brown, apparently.
Yeah. We'll jump through some of these. Burley, I live in Spain without the S. Same. Make the transition, says he's sorry he jinxed us. No more chopsticks. No more spoon, I guess, for me either. Joe says, I'm so devastated. It tells us what the pick at 5 will be. Forgotten LOL cow. This is a terrible move. I am genuinely livid. Totally get it. Comes back here. You have a weak roster depth, and now you're forced into going with a blue chip wide receiver instead of trading down and accumulating assets. Terrible move.
Yeah. I mean, wow. Okay. Let's think about this. Honestly, truly, are you sure it rules out Joe Alt at 5? if this team wants to go tight ends and running backs and trade Keenan Allen and cut Mike Williams, are you 100% sure it is not a tight end or tackle and go for the depth of the draft to try to replace this by this platoon of
I mean, anything is on the table now at this point in time, but it should be like no one else except for Rome Odunze and Malik Neighbor should be considered, unless obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. falls to the board. But even if you trade down and you take Brian Thomas or you take, Adonai Mitchell, that's very difficult to justify. If you're trading Keenan Allen, you have to replace him with a very high-end wide receiving talent, in my opinion. And the only way you're doing that is taking one at number 5.
Even if they bring back Mike Williams, like you still have to take a receiver at number 5.
Even if you sign, Hollywood Brown just signed. Even if you sign Tyler Boyd to play the slot for you, you still got to take a wide receiver at number 5. Like that's Tyler Boyd is your best receiver. I don't even know who else is out there. KJ Osborne. I'm looking at the list right now. Quez Watkins, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Paris Campbell.
I didn't even write a receiver option for today. We were going to talk about free agents, and I was like, why would we talk about receiver today?
Yeah. So, no, I'm not going to be shocked if it still is one of the offensive linemen or a trade down or whatever, but you can't trade Keenan Allen and not have like a viable replacement plan. And the only viable replacement plan is taking one at number 5.
Okay, so I guess we're looking at let's see. I don't know if these players have even signed because I'm not paying attention to receiver. Donovan Peoples-Jones or Odell Beckham Jr. or nope, Marquise Brown went to the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's slim pickings. We'll circle through some. Go ahead, Arjun.
Is everyone still on the In Harbaugh We Trust vibe, or like where are people there with that? I feel like an hour ago everyone was screaming it from the rooftops, like just want to make sure for everyone who was on that train in December is still on that train.
Oh, now Patrick Mahomes is all happy. Cool. Love that.
It's I trust the Chargers. Here's the thing. I trust that Jim Harbaugh will get the Chargers to be a consistent winner, and that is something that will be year 1 year. Like it'll take years to get there, and years that Keenan Allen may not have had on the roster. So I trust him to do what he's going to set out to do. But I don't love this.
Who's the last Charger legend that started and finished their career? LT left.
Just Gates.
Yeah, Gates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Gates.
Rivers left. Hardwick
Floyd,
left. Weddle left.
Well, Hardwick didn't play anywhere else, did he?
Hardwick just retired.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought.
I think.
Yeah, because he had all the neck issues.
Yeah, he had a neck injury and retired. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Bobby Holly.
Bobby Holly. Jesse, we'll get through some of these other super chats. I'm all for trust the process, but honestly, F this move hurts more than a breakup. Yeah. MH2, that's wild, man. Hurts to see him go. At least he's not going to the Chiefs. Sure.
That's true. He's not going to the Chiefs.
Alex says money for Tyler to buy an adult beverage to help cope right now.
Sure.
Yeah, all you guys can drink. I don't get to drink and drink my feelings tonight, so I guess go have an extra one for me, I guess.
I'm suspended indefinitely from that, so I gotta find a different way to cope, I guess.
And I'm Chinese, so we're 0 for 3 on drinking it tonight, it seems.
Yeah. Chorizo says another 5 for Arjun's favorite adult beverage and $4.99 for Steven's non-alcoholic beverage. Hey man, why do I get $4.99? Just kidding, obviously.
Yeah, my Thai tea is gonna hit like crack tonight when I order my Thai tea with boba or something. I don't know. Oh, God.
Tara, does this K trade make a Mike comeback more plausible?
Sure.
I guess that would ease the pain a little bit, but
yeah. Let's trade for Zay Flowers now.
I don't know if there's a question in there, Blake, but thank you, obviously. And then from Jay, Mike will come back, or M Thomas, OBJ on a cheap deal. Like, I'm not signing a cheap veteran who's injury prone. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, ESPN already did a jersey swap. I can't deal with this. I'm so sick and mad. Yeah, that I will not be looking at that. I will not be looking at Keenan Allen in a Bears jersey. No, thank you.
It's interesting. I'm curious. The Bears have such a history of trading with the Chargers. First Inman, Mac recently, obviously Keenan Allen. I don't know. Just find a bad NFC team
for the trading.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess. I mean, listen, man. Caleb Williams is going to have a nice set of weapons in Chicago, unfortunately.
Yeah, Gerald Everett too.
Oh yeah. I'm not happy about this.
I mean, so okay, we can talk a little bit now. They have $23 million in cap space. You know, obviously, Keenan's well worth the, cap hit he would have had this, or you wouldn't have given like a ton of surplus value on the deal, but they do have $23 million to spend roughly. There's a lot of places you can fill out depth with that $23 million out. There's a lot of good players that are gone, but how do you think they should allocate the rest of that money throughout, the rest of the free agency?
Why are we asking about Justin Jefferson? Is that the copium we're going through right now? I mean, like, he's awesome, but like the Vikings are not trading him. To answer your question,
40 minutes ago. So
yeah, but Justin Jefferson is a whole different thing. He's the best wide receiver in the league, and he's in the prime of his career. Like, that would be a shocker. Granted, this was a shocker too. But to answer your question here, Arjun, I think I don't even know how you spend this money, man. Like, the majority of the expensive free agents are all gone. Like, Dalton Reisner, maybe as a guard. You can definitely sign Taylor Tart now. You don't need another edge rusher. We just talked on the previous episode about how shitty the linebacker situation is.
Okay, so I guess we can look at. I don't know.
Corner?
Everyone's gone.
Are there any good corners?
Yeah. Gilmore, did he sign yet? I guess.
No.
Steven Nelson, but he's 31. Adore Jackson, maybe.
You're not. Unfortunately, you can't trade for Snead.
Guys, if the Chargers cut Keenan Allen because he wouldn't take a pay cut, why the hell would they trade for Jefferson, who's going to command $30+ million a year and significant draft capital?
Arjun, we just need something right now, dude.
Oh man,
this is tough.
It's tough because then you're scrolling through the list of free agents. Like, okay, the Chargers say, or Ortiz and Harbaugh, we're going to win every year as best we can. It's like, okay, this happens before free agency. You load up with a whole different thing, roster over one player, but like everyone's gone in free agency, as you guys pointed out already. So,
man, if this is how we're feeling, imagine how Justin Herbert feels right now.
Yeah, I don't even know.
He lost Keenan and Mike in the same week.
RB1, tight end 1, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2.
Yeah. And Corey, center 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in all seriousness, I think you kiss those 2 comp picks come by. I don't care about those anymore. You go be aggressive here. There's still some decent safeties. You can go get a legit safety 3. Cam Curl's still a free agent. Julian Blackmon's a free agent. Jordan Fuller's a free agent. That's probably a place where you could spend money. Cornerback, Stephon Gilmore, Steven Nelson, Adoree Jackson. But you could have afforded those guys after the edge rushers. Maybe you trade for a linebacker, I guess. I don't know.
They fucking trade for a linebacker, and that's the plan. I think we're gonna lose Arjun for good, man.
I don't know, dude. There's no good linebackers worth paying. Like, I guess, like that's what I'm struggling with. Like from a financial standpoint, is like you have needs, but all of the good players are gone. They all signed other contracts.
The timing of this was just horrible. There's nothing left. Like, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel for free agency now. Really, like.
Like, I guess you're just gonna sign a shit ton of players, but like outside of guard and safety, I don't know where you're getting good players from. Even running back is done with, man. Like, you're gonna sign Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Deontay Foreman, like.
Yeah, no, I like if you do this and you go get, I don't know, Jacobs or Henry, and then you go get Queen and Zeitler or whatever. But yeah, everything. Well, Zeitler's still available. Man. Obviously, we only know as much as we know at this current moment.
They're gonna run the ball a lot.
Yeah,
they are. Your second round pick is running back, I think, at this point. I mean,
fucking hell. Oh, gosh. You didn't need to do this.
No, that's the thing. You really didn't need to do this, nor do I think it was the smart thing to do. I just think the transition between regimes, you figure out the money elsewhere, and you did figure out the money. Even if you take a receiver at 5, you get a great mentor. You bridge the gap. You know, if this was Keenan's last year, that guy takes over. I get it, but like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if we can blame the former coach for the current coach's decision there, guys in the chat.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Well,
let's put it this way. Also, you know, this is a cascading trickle down effect because of the moves that Tom Telesco made last year. The Chargers are trading Keenan Allen because the regime last year decided to go all in, and these are the repercussions of making those all in moves. Everything comes at a price. The cap is real. I hope if anything that people could take away from this offseason, the cap increased by 11 million more than what people thought, or 13 million more. Jason, or over the cap and everywhere, had the cap projected to be 242 million this year. It ended up being 255 million this year. It's 13 more than people budgeted for, and yet the Chargers still had to part ways with 2 of their franchise players in Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. They still had to ask Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, and Keenan Allen to take pay cuts. Two of those players had career years in 2023. The cap is real. Everything ends up, you end up having to pay a price for everything, right? Like, I think last year I said, like, the Chargers restructuring Keenan and Mike makes it more likely that, something's going to have to happen next year, because you just can't keep everyone, and the cap is real. So, it's fun to say, oh, the Chargers can restructure this, they can do that. Eventually you're going to have to pay up. And this is what the Chargers are doing. They're paying up for the choices that they made last year. So just that's something else I feel like we should keep in mind. Like, this is a trickle down effect of what happened last year.
Yeah. No, I get it. There were undoubtedly going to be changes. And again, like, if you told me last year, okay, Chargers don't make it, everyone's fired, Keenan Allen's gone, I would have gotten it. But like Steven said, the moment we logged off of that stream, and based on the news we had received elsewhere, didn't expect this one. Thank you to the 1,600 of you that are in here somewhat coping with us. I wish we had more to even really say. I feel like, we're doing the best we can. Like, you guys are doing great. But like, there are moments of like 20 seconds of silence.
Yeah, we'll roll through some super chats here too. Matthew Hernandez, should we have gotten something better than a 4th round? Arjun addressed this earlier, but I'm curious, Arjun, if they had done this like last week, do you think the trade package increases very much at all?
That's a good question. I don't really think it would have. I mean, I think given his age, a date like a early day 3 pick was always going to be the most likely scenario. I think maybe, depending on how the wide receiver market shook out, the interested teams could have been more or less. Like, who knows if the Bears were interested in Ridley or Curtis Samuel or whoever else, or like the type of, the Michael Pittman extension or the Mike Evans extension, like that could have maybe changed the dynamics of the trade in the past week. But I do think that because of the age and, an expiring deal, a 4th rounder, or maybe a comp 3rd was the most likely outcome for this.
Yeah. Sorry, I can find the next ones if you're not.
Yeah, go for it.
From one, trade for Higgins. Is he tagged?
He's tagged, yeah, but
tagged.
you got to probably trade 37 if you're going to go get T. Higgins, and I don't know if you're going to trade Keenan Allen and turn around and pay him, because I think it was reported that T. Higgins wants like DK Metcalf money, which is more expensive than Keenan Allen. So
yeah,
I can't really see that as a possibility.
Does Ortiz go Neighbors or Odunze? That's what we'll be debating the next month. That's for sure. Stylistically, I feel like Odunze fits better, but we'll see. From Job Reeves, why do we keep Bosa, who has done nothing, and get rid of our best wide receiver? Great question. I don't have a really good answer for you there on that one, to be honest. Yeah, I got nothing for you on that one. From Teresa Compapas, why trade when the extension was on the table? Sorry, was there a report about an extension actually being on the table?
I don't think it was reported on. No, I think it was just like we talked about it because it made sense, and if you wanted to save money with Keenan Allen, you could have just done an extension, man. My goodness, I'm struggling.
All right.
Okay, let's keep going.
Yep. From SJL89, think they know Arizona trading pick and Harrison will drop.
I am gonna believe that Marvin Harrison Jr. is not an Arizona Cardinal when it actually happens that way. I mean, they just signed Jonah Williams to play offensive tackle. He's one of the 4 or 5 best prospects of the last 5 years. I think he's going to be a Cardinal.
Yeah, I agree. Super sticker from Bolt Boy Tommy. If there's a question, fire another one in. Don Cheeto. I like that. A bit emotional, but did Joe Ortiz just lose the fan base? He's definitely going to lose some. I don't really. First of all, I do feel we need to say Jim Harbaugh and include him in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't trade Keenan Allen without Jim Harbaugh's say, in my opinion.
Yeah. But the honeymoon stage is over, so that's good. We don't have to go through the entire offseason just honeymooning about Super Bowls. So there's that. I think it's a bad move, but it is not officially a bad move until it's proven to be a bad move, and it doesn't work out for the Chargers. So, but for right now, yeah, I got nothing. From Luis, picked up a Chicago 4th. What can we get there of value? Kick returner,
center 1, baby.
You send a 4th round. All right.
In all seriousness,
apparently,
I think you probably double dip at wide receiver this year, and you could probably do that at the top of the 4th round and the 1st round.
Yeah, it depends on what they want to do. They want to go possession receiver with like Romo Dunze, and then in the 4th round go like Oregon State's Anthony Gold, USC's Taj Washington, Malik Washington. I guess you could do that.
Yeah.
All right, from one, welcome to LA, Brandon Ayuk.
Look, again, if they traded Keenan Allen because they were worried about his, $36 million pay cut, his $23 million APY, it just doesn't make sense for them to go ahead and trade for another receiver because
Mhm.
you're gonna have to give up at least a second round pick for Brandon Ayuk on top of a 26 million dollar contract on top of that. So like, just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, it does not. From I Am Kazam, terrible movie. Noah here, first time, long time. I just cried in my fiance's arms. Seriously, not lying. I grew up with Keenan. He's my favorite player ever, period. Yeah, I'm going to go do like the saddest gym workout ever.
Yep,
Just
same.
like, just like bench press, like if I could turn back time and just like, just cry myself to a PR or something.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
Yeah, that's rough. Baritone Black. This feels like 2009 all over again. Is that the Marty firing? No, that's
No,
Norv was
no.
2009.
Yeah. No, Normo's 2010.
I don't know.
Isn't it?
Someone let me know. From Kyle, this just tells me they are giving up on this year, despite what Ortiz said. But why keep Bosa and Mac if this is what all in? If this is what it takes.
I disagree.
They're not giving up on the year. Like Jim Harbaugh's not coming in here if they're gonna tank in 2024. But I understand the frustration. I do. They're not giving up. It's just going to be a different brand of Chargers football than any of us have ever seen, probably. Well, it's probably going to look a lot like the early LT days. But
get ready to learn student body left.
Yes.
Running the football. Joe Alexander, I will say this organization had demons that needed to be exercised to the core, and this may be the hardest part of it. No half measures. We'll miss Slayer so much. I remember the kidney injury. Yeah, that was awful. In Baltimore, actually. Joe Ortiz and the Ravens there.
Yep.
The thing is with like the exercising of the demons, if this is the like you need to just gut the roster and get out, like just move on. This to me is like you do it as a clean sweep. Like you announce Keenan being traded with Joey being cut and Mike
you ripped the
being
Band-Aid
cut.
off. I totally understand it.
Yeah. This is not what I thought. That's for sure.
No.
Matthew Hernandez, what's our cap look like after this move, Arjun? So with the, in theory, 11.5 or whatever plus.
Yeah. So again, accounting for everything that happened today, they should have about 23, 22 million in spending space for free agent moves or trades that if they do any trades. Overall, though, they'll have I think close to 37 to 38 million in cap space, not accounting for the draft, not accounting for the draft class and in season budget. So accounting for that, they should have about 22 to 23 million dollars to spend in the rest of free agency.
Cool. From Jake, Bears fan here. I was looking at Keenan Allen highlights and wound up here. Figured I'd watch you miserate a bit. Bear down. Hey, do your thing, dude.
You're gonna love him.
You're gonna love him. He's a great practice watch. He's literally gonna be one of your favorite players. He's gonna steal the podium every time he's up there. I'm very curious to hear what he has to say about this. I hope he does right by Caleb Williams, which seems to be the move. Trevor Black, what if Pats take Marvin Harrison Jr. and the Cardinals take Neighbors?
You sprint to the podium from Roma Dudenze.
Yeah, although that wouldn't be great.
Well, there will be a lot of teams calling for number 5. Then I feel like Broncos, Raiders,
true, yeah,
Vikings. So I think obviously you don't want to just completely miss out on a blue chipper like Roma Dunze seems to be, but I mean, man, if you can get an extra 2 firsts for the next couple of years, then I think those situations will play out closer to the draft. But I think you have to really entertain those. You can't leave any stone unturned.
Yeah. From Burley, sorry, we're flying through the super chats here, and I really appreciate these. I'm sorry we don't seem very excited about some of these. They have to have some kind of plan in place. It hurts, but every other move has been solid. And that's the thing. It really sucks right now, 40 minutes after we found the news out, which had no indication of occurring. But there will be a plan that unfolds. Whether it works or not, we'll see. From J. Paul Paz, I was so freaking happy an hour ago. Me too, dude. It's a nice podcast. I want to go back to where I just didn't understand what Arjun was saying about cap structures. Like that was a really nice spot to be in. No, I understand what Arjun was saying, but I'd like to go back to that. From Jared. What's up, Jared? First, love y'all. Thank you, Shuni, Arjun, and Steven for facilitating this. Very sad moment for sure. Steven, you have at it. From Toxic Fish Media, Keenan was decent. His QBs made him.
That's a fucking moronic take. Get out of our chat. That is one of the worst takes I've ever seen in my entire life.
Happy to refund the $2 if you'd like. From Jared again, to me, this feels like a youth movement, and the ultimatum for not taking a pay cut would result in a trade or release. It ultimately ended up being that. But again, if it's a youth movement, make it a youth movement. You know, not Hayden Hurst at 30 years old and Puna Ford at 28 or whatever he is. Very different when these guys are making this much money, but
Oh man.
Almost there, guys. Ricardo, Ortiz presser is going to be lit. That's going to be a heck of a.
He's going to have a lot of questions, man. So that
Yeah.
is going to be an interesting one for sure. When is his next press conference going to be? Probably not until like a pre-draft one.
I feel like Telesco did the combine and then it was after the draft. No.
Well, there's like I think there's league ownership meetings between now and the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably
That's right.
next time he speaks.
Yeah. That's a rehearse your speech a few times ahead of time on that answer because from Cameron sorry, go for it.
I have a question for you guys and for the chat. Do we think if Ben Johnson was the head coach, we would have made this trade?
Arjun.
Arjun's just pulling out all the receipts.
You're really funny, Arjun. It's really nice to have you back, buddy. All right. From Nolan Beals. So not only did we get rid of our number one wideout, but now the gift of trading back is more than likely gone. Not smart, in my opinion. I agree. Thank God for Kenneth Murray's $18 million. Dylan says Keenan will be 32, possibly only did want to extend him because of his age. Maybe did not want to extend him. And again, I get that. If this was his last year, I get that. Virginia super sticker. Thank you, Virginia. From the fish guy. Y'all with the apostrophe put in the wrong spot. Too loyal. Loyalty doesn't equal success.
Trading your best players also does not equal success.
From Matthew Hernandez, who's going to be our number one wide receiver now? Palmer?
The player they take at number 5.
Yeah, the player they take at 5. From Isaac McCrae.
Yeah, I saw that.
Somebody Charger players are retweeting right now in shock. DJ, Elijah, Dotson, Jasir Taylor, unfreaking believable. Thus ends our 51st super chat. So
I did not think we would be on here for 43 minutes talking about this. I hope you guys go blow off some steam. That's what I'm about to go do. Whatever form that is, you do you. This was not fun. I want to go back an hour and a half and be fun again. This was not fun.
I'm going to drink the rest of my orange cream soda.
Hey, there you go.
Down the bottle.
There you go. Hey, man, we don't have to say those kind of things. Damage. Like he's still Keenan. Like we don't have to put that out in the world.
Yeah, let's not do that. I'm going to put you on a time. Oh gosh, where'd it go? How did I put him on a timeout? Oh well.
He did not decide this. This was a Chargers decision. Like, come on.
Yeah. Deion Henley just said nah.
Bring back Telesco.
Wait, what does that say?
We're not that upset.
I can at least tell you that Telesco has never traded Keenan Allen.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, thank you. Yeah. Another super chat from Alana. Keenan and Mike Dub were an amazing duo. Yeah, at their best, man, especially that Vikings game. What, they have like 400 yards between them, including passing yards. Like, what could have been, man? There was a whole different season in week 3. and it never came to fruition, unfortunately.
We're gonna go 7 for 11 in his first week with Harper. That's a good one. That's a good one.
But Malik Neighbors will take 6 of those to the house.
Yeah. Oh man. At some point we'll like get over this and like figure out how they actually use this cap space. Probably a lot of it is gonna be rollover cap, but man, this was a tough one. Tough one for sure. Hopefully you guys are doing all right. Hug your other fellow Chargers fans because this was not fun.
Yeah, this was not fun. This is still not fun. And happy Friday tomorrow, I guess. Can't wait to go to work.
Yeah. I wish this were a Friday news dump because then at least we'd have the weekend.
Yeah. Well, I guess I know what we're talking about next week. I've never been sad eating Taco Bell. Goodbye, Keenan.
Hey man, that's a good comfort meal, I guess.
Yeah, let us know. Last comment from you guys. Let us know what you guys are going to do to cope with this news. I actually might go to the gym now.
No, for real, I'm literally gonna go hop on the Peloton bike and probably do like a 45-minute ride or something.
Wait, so is Instorf asleep right now?
Yeah, he's definitely asleep.
Oh man.
Do you want to call him live? Do you want me to break the news to him on live stream? Is that the meanest thing I could possibly do?
It is.
It's like 12:15, right? And
he's 4 hours ahead. Yeah. Yeah, he hasn't messaged anything or tweeted anything about it. I assume he is asleep.
Let's see how. This is the worst thing I've ever done in my life.
Okay, so while that happens, I figure we could just like wide receivers that are left on the free agent market: Odell, Tyler Boyd, DJ Chark, Michael Thomas could make some sense. Michael Thomas, Josh Reynolds. It's been said that he's probably going back to Detroit though. KJ Osborne. I think Cedric Wilson just signed. Marquez Valdes-Scantling. They're trying to get some speed. Peoples-Jones, Alex's guy, Quez Watkins, Byron Pringle, Chase Claypool, and Paris Campbell. So a lot of studs that I just listed off. I think Tyler Boyd's probably going to be the guy that costs the most. Brad has him projected 2 years, 8.25. It does sound like there's been some reports the Steelers and the Chiefs were interested, and potentially the Jets. There were guys from the Jets that were recruiting Tyler Boyd. So I think he already has a lot of suitors. So you're kind of looking at like Odell or DJ Chark or maybe Michael Thomas on a 1 year prove it. I would love a Michael Thomas deal. I don't know if he kind of fits the culture that Harbaugh wants. Harbaugh's gone against him, I think, in the early stages of his Michigan coaching career when Thomas was at OSU. So a little bit of familiarity there. But yeah, like, I don't know if they're going to address the position in free agency. I don't know if the goal is to bring Mike Williams back, which would, I'm sure would cause more outrage in Chargers Twitter. But I don't know. That it's a tough one to navigate just because of how late they did the trade.
Yeah, like they could have gotten Hollywood Brown, and I think that would have made some sense for them. But
Alex is not answering, and
so he's out, like for sure.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're still getting super chats. You guys are amazing with this. We are never going to hear another Bull fan Let's Ride from Keenan. This is such a sad day.
Yeah.
I feel just like I did after the Jags playoff game. I'm sick.
I think this is worse, honestly.
Yeah, I think this is worse. Chances Vikes Chargers swap ones they give Jefferson 0. Actually, let me take that back. Negative 5,000%.
Arjun, run the numbers on that.
What if Bears draft Marvin Harrison Jr.? I don't think you'd trade for Keenan Allen if you're taking a wide receiver at number 1.
I won't hate Matt Prater anymore. So there's that.
Yeah. Man. Okay, I think that's that. I need to go away from the screen right now.
All right, guys. Are you gonna sign us off, Steven, or you want me to do it?
Sure,
or?
I'll do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Sincerely though, appreciate all you guys for tuning in and coping with us. The super chats were fantastic. Had some good conversation, I guess, to a certain extent. So we'll have more thoughts on this at another time when we have some time to cope a little bit more and run through some scenarios. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate Tyler and Alex as Tyler and Arjun. My bad there. Been a long day, I guess. So appreciate you guys for jumping on and way too soon. Way too soon. Oh man.
Oh, that's a good one. So much one of
That
us
is
should
very
tweet that.
good. That is very good. Very good. Very good. All right, guys. That's gonna do it for us tonight. We'll see you next time. Bolt up.